Hello, welcome back to MJ Gooner Podcast right here for the post-match review. Arsenal 4, Crystal Palace 1. What a great way to start your Sunday with a big win, and Arsenal is currently 8 points clear at the top of the table. But the thing is, Man City still have a game in hand. Of course, we all know that they beat Burnley yesterday in the FA Cup. And of course, surely the FA Cup is going to be split. Not going to be split, but will be pretty much be competed between United and also City. And honestly, Brighton could be a good shout as well. I think currently they are up by, 2 goals or something. So you know what? I'll leave the cup to them, to United, to City. But you know what? For us, we are currently just focusing on the Premier League. And yes, we still have 10 more games to go right now. 10 more finals to go, like Arteta said on Wednesday after the defeat against Sporting. We still have 10 more finals to go. Well, of course, and those 10 games are not going to be easy. As you guys know that we have to travel away to St. Mary's Park. What else? Anfield and also Etihad Stadium. Again, those 3 games against City, Liverpool, and Newcastle United are going to be very tough to play. And at the same time, we have to play against Chelsea as well at home. But again, it's going to be tricky. I am fully aware that Chelsea drew against Everton last night. But again, Chelsea with their players, they're capable of pretty much winning football matches, even though we might not be seeing that in real life. But I'm sure once this team starts to get going, they can be very unstoppable. But like I said, 8 points clear, and our goal difference right now has widened again. 40 right now. I think we have scored 66 goals this season, conceding 26, but of course, City got just a little bit of higher of the goal difference with 42. And honestly, I'm really proud of the team performance today. I think the fact that we try to, kill the game as soon as possible, we did that. But of course, however, there's one issue that we still need to figure it out, which is the set piece corner, or just set pieces in general. We are apparently very bad at defending that, but I'll go over that later. But you know what, this game has, there's a certain comfort level to it. There's a certain comfort level when you put Tierney at left back, and later on you put Thomas Partey at right back, and also Kiwior coming in replacing Gabriel, who has played every single minute in the Premier League this season. And of course, today it will be Kiwior's debut, or not full Emirates debut, but a Emirates debut today. To be fair, we don't know when we will be seeing Kiwior in any of the circumstances unless we're winning by a lot. But that's pretty much, the fact that getting out of the FA Cup very early, and also getting out of the Europa League relatively early also shows that KVO might not be getting as many chances as we all thought he's going to get. But let's move on to the game. But prior to today's game, of course, yesterday, 24 hours ago, we received a horrible news that William Saliba has picked up a back injury and he is going to be out for a few weeks. So there are multiple reports saying that, he is going to be 50-50 for today's game. And some report in France, they said that there is pretty much no chance for him to be featured in the Crystal Palace game, and he'll be out for a few weeks. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. Yes, we have a international break coming on for next week, and after that we have Leeds, and after Leeds we have Liverpool. And that one's going to be a concern. Yes, today Rob Holding played, and I think he did well today, to be honest, in my opinion. If I would have to do a player's rating, I would definitely give Rob Holding a 7, or the highest 7.5. But at the same time, we can also see the limitation of what Rob Holding can provide us. Saliba It's a massive unit, very strong, very dominant in the air. In terms of possession-wise, I think he's very good at it, very good at protecting the ball, keeping the ball, and more importantly, I think his speed. Saliba's speed is something that often a lot of fans do not talk about. Yes, he is 6'4", he is strong, he is a massive unit, he's built, but nobody talks about his pace. His recovery runs are very, very impressive. Nobody knew that he was turning out to be somebody like that. I think there was a clip last year where he was playing for Marseille. I think he was tracking down with Mbappe, and Saliba, came from behind, did a sliding tackle, and that was pretty much the first sight of what Arsenal fans can see, what he can offer us is the recovery run. And the fact that he's going to be out for a few weeks, but nobody knows how long he's going to be out for. But I really hope for the next 2 weeks he is going to be rested well, and he is going to come back against Liverpool. That's what I'm hoping for, because Liverpool started picking up some pace. So I really hope that he is going to be available for the Liverpool game. And of course, there's a bunch of fitness problem prior to today's game. Like, we're scared. Yes, it was not very ideal, the fact that we have to play 120. It was 120 minutes plus penalty over the week, over Thursday. And of course, that's not the ideal way to do it. Not an ideal way to exit a competition, knowing that the stake for the weekend's game are much bigger than the Europa League's game. And I know a lot of fans might be wanting to get out of the Europa League. If we have to lose, why not lose it within the 90 minutes instead of going to the penalty? But when you first thought about it, it's you felt it was fine, but to your dear heart it's something else. That's probably not something that you feel different, but this is what we have to face. Potential fitness problem, but today everybody seems to be fine to me. It seems like the Thursday game was forgotten. Seems to be the Thursday game was never been played. That's how good Arsenal was today. So starting 11, as expected, Rob Holding coming on for Saliba. Apparently, a youngster Walters is also on the bench today. And I read quite a bit of a news yesterday where he is going to be replacing Saliba in the 20-man squad. And at the back of my mind, I really hope I was hoping that he might be starting ahead of Rob Holding. If that's the case, then that's pretty much Rob's Holding last season for Arsenal. But that was not the case. Rob Holding coming on, and pretty much the midfield and also forwards are as I expected. A lot of people might wanted Jesus to start in this game. I will understand that. I felt like he started to build his momentum, started to build his fitness. But anyway, the fact that he's been out for 3 months and you wanted him to start in this game with high level intensity, probably you don't want to do that. So why not just stick with the old 3 up top right now, with Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Trossard in the middle, and the midfield 3 are pretty much the same. So, all right, let's start to talk about let's start talk about the game. 15 minutes in, not 15 minutes. Again, as expected, Arsenal started pretty slow. And I have no problem with them starting it slow, but that's the way how we started it. Again, there is, of course, Patrick Vieira got fired over I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and Roy Hodgson is the candidate to replace him. But again, it comes to that narratives again where Arsenal has to play against a team who recently sacked their manager, and there is a no manager no manager bound tag in today's game. And at the same time, I think I read it this morning where Arsenal hasn't won a game against Crystal Palace for the last 5 seasons. Incredible. Nobody thought we would be at the position we are at right now, obviously. But the fact that we are that far ahead right now, the fact that we won the last 5 games and potentially stretch it to 6, and I believe today we won our 6 games in a row, in which Arteta has never done it before. But of course, congratulations to him and also the squad as well. But again, there's so much narrative going on. Arsenal never beat Crystal Palace for the last 5 games. Crystal Palace just sacked their manager, Patrick Vieira. And we all have that narratives where every time when we play under not the current manager, we'll be struggling. But thank God we didn't struggle. And instead, we were quite dominant in a lot of areas. And the first 20 minutes, I felt like, again, we didn't start the way how we wanted. I don't think we started in a way where I think that, we should be proud of. Again, playing Rob Holding at the back, it's something that we might not be moving forward in the future, or definitely will not be moving forward in the future. And I'm sure this might be Rob Holding's potential last season for the club, given that he might be sold. If not, we might keep him for the next season. But at this point, you don't want to put Rob Holding in the Champions League game if we have to rotate. So first 20 minutes, again, I think we started quite mediocre. I don't think there's nothing special. I don't think there's anything special. We create a few chances in the box, but again, it's the same issue every time. We are being very protective of the ball in the opposition box. And this is where, the difference between Arsenal and also Man City, and seldom at times Man United as well. I felt like we're not very clinical in the box when we have a chance to. I felt like we took quite a bit of a long time in order to pull the trigger. We're looking for that perfect path where, trying to fake yourself and also your opponent in the box, hopefully getting a clear sight for a shot. But that's the problem where it happened, because you would never know. Even if you take a shot, it might be scuffed away, ricochets off within the box. Trossard, Martinelli, Xhaka, who else in the box might potentially pick that up and taps it in. I mean, this is the chance that we have to create. And Saka today, I thought he might be going to have a quiet game as well. The first 20 minutes, I don't think there's anything special, for him. But at the same time, with this Arsenal squad, it's what makes this Arsenal squad special. It's if Saka is, out of form for the last few weeks, it's fine, because out of nowhere, Trossard and Martinelli are doing businesses on the left-hand side. So we don't have to solely relying on the right side and also the left side as well, Like, we don't have to solely rely on the right side and the left side is completely trash. And that's not the case with Arsenal this season. I felt like there is something different. Of course, you can say that with Trossard coming in, rotating between Martinelli and himself on the left-hand flank, and also having Martinelli and Lacazette, for example, last season, is a big difference as well. Because eventually, Lacazette is kind of playing like a Odegaard's role in that area, kind of dropping in, supporting the left-hand flank. You don't see Odegaard going on the left-hand flank as usual. But that's the difference we did this season and also last season, is the fact that if we're lacking something on one side of the attack, the other side will compensate it. Whereas last season, when one side is not working, the other side might not be working as well. And that's pretty much where all the goals were coming from if Saka doesn't score. Like last week, perfect example. All the goals, all the chances that we score are from the left-hand side, right? And Saka, relatively, for the past 2 weeks, has been quite quiet. And even let's take ourselves back to the Bournemouth game. Of course, the first goal, Thomas Partey scored that, but the second goal, again, the big equalizer coming from Reece Nelson to Ben White. Again, creating chances, crucial chances on the left-hand side, and we can do that. But on the right-hand side, we don't quite create as many chances as we thought we were going to be. And that's fine. Like I said, compensation, it's a big thing here for Arsenal attack. And that's how, we built very differently. So, of course, there's a few chances for Crystal Palace in the first half. I'm not surprised. Again, they haven't won a Premier League game in this calendar year. The last time they beat a team was 2022, December 31st. And again, that's another narrative right there. Arsenal's not very good at playing teams who haven't won a single damn game for the past few games. Right? Let's take Everton for example. That's exactly what happened to Everton as well. They haven't won a few games, and boom. When they play against us, they win. Last season against Southampton as well, away. I believe we drew that game, or we lost that game. And that's pretty much what we have to talk about it, or we have to say about it. There's a trend going on that might go against Arsenal. And the first 20 minutes was exactly the narrative that was going to be questioned. And there was one chance, I believe it was Wilfred Saha on the left hand side. Again, another counter attack. This is where Arsenal usually get exposed, and this is usually where Arsenal concede goals. And let's talk about Aaron Ramsdale for that one. A good save, just a tiny bit of a fingertips. It hit in off the post, ricocheted off the post, and hit his back of his body, and it almost rose it in for a known goal. That gave me a flashback of what happened in the Villa game away. It's the same situation with Martinez back then. But thank God that did not happen, because if we are 1-0 down, it's going to be tough to play. Crystal Palace, on paper, looks like they are a good, decent side, but again, with the wrong management, wrong coaches, they're not going to get anywhere with the team that they have right now. And of course, they are they're still in the relatively dangerous relegation battle. They might be sitting at 12 right now, but then they are 4 points away from being at the bottom. So it shows that this season Premier League is tough in general. The fact that you have 8 total teams are in danger of getting relegated at any moment. So, and after that, I believe there's another chance coming in, but I don't remember. But certainly Aaron Ramsdale needed, certainly, of course, after the disappointment that he put over on Wednesday, he has to redeem himself. Of course, he wanted a clean sheet. Everybody wanted a clean sheet. And boom, 28 minutes in, this is where we have to talk. This is where the difference is. It's when you cross early at times. When you cross early, find somebody in the box, and whoever got the ball, just chest that one in and finish with the left foot. And that's exactly what I always envision Arsenal to be doing this every time they play. Because again, I felt like there are so many chances where we just kind of wasted in the box. We could have probably gotten, a chance by taking the shot. Scuffy shot, it's fine. Deflected shot, it's fine. Might be going to go. Might be fall off to somebody else in the box. Another example for that, against Brighton away from home. I believe it was the first goal we scored. Martinelli, knowing that his angle of taking that shot was very, very tight, but again, it deflects off pretty much everybody, landed in front of Saka, puts that one in, and that's that's the point that I'm trying to make. And Martinelli wasn't very good at it at one point. I felt like he is doing way too much in the box. I think he could have probably. There are times where when he has to cross, and instead he pulls it back, keeping possession. I understand that, but there are chances where you just have to put one into the box. That's what Trossard is very good at it, right? It's that split second whether if you want to cross it or not. And when you cross it, you have a chance of scoring. If you don't, sure, keep possession. But that finish from Martinelli was perfect. Good first touch. Goes to his left-hand side. I believe it was Ward. Dan Ward was on the right, was as a right back today. But again, Ward and Martinelli, just a unfair mismatch right there. And of course, when you don't close Martinelli down, his feet are quick. The fact that he had a touch, great touch, go to the left-hand side, and puts that one away, and we're 1-0 up. Just simple as that. Cross, hopefully find somebody in the box, and go for a shot. And that's how we create our first chance. And 1-0. I knew the first goal was going to come very soon, and that's exactly what happened on the 28th minute. And for some reason, after that goal, we play so much better. We have more control of the ball. We tend to create more chances. That doesn't necessarily always lead up to a goal. And who else? And Bukayo Saka again. I think there are a few dimensions that did very well today. Rob Holding winning everything in the air pretty much today. Again, he might be a liability for today's game, but I'm thankful that he was not a liability at all. Every crosses that comes to him, heads it away. His main duel today was Edouard and also Saha. I don't see him put himself against Elise, but that shows that of course people have to believe in him. People have to believe in their own players. Rob Holding, of course, I don't think he is any bad, but certainly from the club's perspective, from our fans' perspective, knowing that if we have to take ourselves to another level, Rob Holding cannot be it. But in games like this, he is still, he can still manage. That's what he did, winning every duels in the air, and his task is pretty much simple. Has to either go for Edouard and also Saha, but of course, I think he comfortably beat Edouard today. But of course, not Saha. Saha is completely different types of player. He's quick on his feet. He's smart. The way how he twists and turn. Certainly confuses Holding and also Ben White at time. And we play better after that, but again, after that first goal, that's the difference of Arsenal Football Club with other teams. Or even for the previous seasons, I felt like after we scored the first goal, we were hungry, we wanted more. And boom, later on, 43 minutes in, Bukayo Saka has scored, not scoring for the last 2 games. Was it not? Yeah, not scoring for the last 2 games. And this game was his pretty much. He was playing against Mitchell on the right-hand side again. Mitchell was no match with him today. And also give a credit to Ben White. It was a lovely pass as well. It was kind of a subtleties that Arsenal have, the subtleties that Arsenal play that create such a great goal like that. Just an inside run, Everybody thought, when Saka gives the ball back to Ben White might be going back to, Partey, Rob Holding, or even going for a cross. But that little run by Saka, breaking the lines right there, shows how important the partnership between Ben White and also Saka have been in this season. And I think at the moment going forward, I don't think Ben White will be dropped as a right back. But we will talk about that later. But of course, what a great finish as well. Just puts on the left-hand side to his right foot. Just a very smart finish as well. A very simple one. Again, we are playing against a 19-year-old Whitford. Is it Whitford or something like that? I think that's the goalkeeper's name. Well, apparently he's 19-year-old Whitworth, not Whitwood, but Whitworth. And of course, knowing that, like, that's the thing I was talking about. Why not taking any chances on a 19-year-old? Of course, we have to capitalize this kind of, inexperience of a goalkeeper, and you have to go at it because you will never know. Of course, Odegaard earlier had a shot on target. It was a good strike again. I think it was a relatively quite comfortable distance, height for the goalkeeper. But in that moment, Saka pretty much, in a very tight angle, but able to shift all his balance on the left-hand side, make sure he gets that clean strike. And he just puts that barrier away. 2-0. And guess what? The referee, of course, has to check whether if it's an offside or not. It looks like an offside. That's why I didn't quite celebrate as much as I wanted to. But this is the fear that everybody has to face in the Premier League. Not in the Premier League, anywhere in general with VAR, with the VAR system being imposed, is you cannot truly celebrate a goal. And even though Saka from that angle, it was a great finish, but from that angle you might thought, oh, he might be at offside just a little bit. He might be at offside. And then VAR draw a closer look. Of course, we have the whole monitor scene going on. And turns out, Stuart Atwell, I remember him last season. Was it last season where I think, or even early this season, I don't think he had a very good refereeing, for us. But it's fine. We don't want to rely on penalty anymore. I don't want us to rely on penalty. At times that you might want to rely on penalty, but of course, the majority of the time when you don't have to rely on penalty, that would be great. And that's what Arsenal needed to be. Always needed to be. Not always rely on penalty to win games. Even games are tough, we need to find chances to, break the opponent's defense and score from there. Second goal we scored, halftime, boom, just like that. A very comfortable 2-0 lead into halftime. And you thought, okay, how are you going to shift this Arsenal team? You don't, because you want to kill this game. You want this game to be over with, add a few more goals in. And later on, second half, again, quite quiet as well. But then, as expected, we are trying to create more chances. Again, defensively, we are going to be shaky. It's all part of the equation. It's all part of the way how we played. We are pretty much exposed every time when there's a counter attack, and that's fine because that's how we play. But it's the fact that not having William Saliba to cover those grounds were going to be tough regardless. So, instead we have to put Rob Holding, have to chase Wilfred Zaha for that. And there's so many times it's funny. It just shoulder to shoulder between him and Zaha, and Rob Holding at one point wasn't even going for the ball anymore. He was just going for the players. He was actually tagging the players instead of attacking the ball, and that's the beauty of Rob Holding. Sometimes even he was laughing towards the end. He was giving so much frustration to Wilfred Zaha. And to the point where he knew he's not going to win the battle against Wilfred Zaha the majority of the time. But it's the way how you deal with it. And I think the way how Rob Holding deal with it was quite majestic, to be honest. And you just gotta love it. You just gotta love his energy. You gotta love his hairband. You gotta love his a great hair treatment. Hopefully in the future I might, I don't need to get one, but that looks beautiful. And later on, 55th minutes in, again, this is what I'm talking about. When you're 2-0 up by halftime, you need a goal or two to in like the early part of the second half to kill the game. And that play, the play that we scored was beautiful. I forgot who it was, but I believe it was, well, Shaka scored a goal, obviously, but Zinchenko breaking the lines once again, a forward pass. Shaka making those pocket of spaces, trying to attack those spaces, and of course trying to drag the defenders back a little bit so he will be onside. And he did that. So I believe it was, and then Shaka give it back to Trossard. Trossard played beautifully nice ball to Shaka. Of course, he was clumsy, it's slow. He get caught pretty much in that area, but of course, a very nice finish as well. You can think that it might be a lucky finish because it was falling down and he somehow could poke the ball in behind the goalkeeper for the third goal. And the game pretty much ended right there. It was a very simple goal to score. Zinchenko to Shaka. Shaka plays a 1-2 with Trossard. Trossard with a great through ball. Saka pokes that one in. 3-0. And again, it shows like another side of, easiness of this game. And 3-0, and you thought, oh, how you want to, okay, now we're 3-0 up. You certainly want to make a change. You certainly want to make some changes within your squad, right? I know we have an international break coming on, but we still don't want to risk any of our players to unnecessary minutes. And then, 62nd minutes in, it was a great piece of play between Ben White and also Saha. Ben White was, of course, getting into Saha's head the whole time, right? Just again, Ben White loves those little ground duel. He loves it. He attract players coming in and stuck his foot out or just go dirty with them. And that's what Ben White was doing, and that's what happened. I believe it was Ben White tight marking, of course, throwing arms and a little bit of legs against Saha, and of course they lost it. I mean, Ben White lost the ball. Everybody lost the ball. Schlupp got the ball, tried to drive the ball forward, and is stopped by Shaka again. This is where Shaka is so important in this team sometimes. Defensively, he is a monster. The fact that he has to stop Schlupp, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Schlupp forces him to go back, and by the time when Schlupp looks up, Ben White just storming in, cleaning the ball away. And Ben White was pumped, and I was like, okay, wow, that was a great piece of play, great piece of duel between, two sets of different players. And the way how Ben White reacted, booted the ball away, and you thought it would be funny if we concede a corner from that play after beautiful, dual defense. Guess what happened? We actually conceded from a corner. And it was a poor corner to concede again. Missed the first Crystal Palace guy. Was it Ben White? And also Zinchenko as well. And it fell perfectly to Schlupp. And of course, that's where Arsenal exposed himself defensively to a corner. Odegaard was man-marking Schlupp. Gabriel was right behind him. Of course, don't want to attract too many contact. And from that close distance, and he just puts that one away. I'm not surprised at all. Conceding, like right now, I always have the anticipation that we might concede from a corner. We were so well doing that last season, and how on earth are we becoming so poor from that? And it's something that, Nico Jova has to discuss with the squad, because of course it is unacceptable, because what makes us at some point quite unplayable against is the fact that we are very good at defending set pieces. But right now, it seems like defending set pieces it's one of the biggest flaws that we have this season. And even though the game against Everton away, Tarkowski was out muscling Odegaard, doesn't mean that's a problem right there. We have been so well in the first half of the season, but second half we have been horrible. Let's be honest. An honest feedback. I think we have been horrible in order to deal with that. So yeah, after that 3-1 with 28 more minutes to play, and you thought, it's going to be a tight game if we get affected emotionally after that goal. We would be in big trouble. And KT coming on for Zinchenko, I don't know if that's the right sub considering the fact that we might be under pressure. And Jesus coming on for Trossard. Again, Trossard might be a little bit disappointed that he could have probably have a few chances here and there. But again, we are trying to keep everybody fit, trying to give minutes to some of the players. KT coming on for Zinchenko. I'm happy to see KT once again in a way like this, in a game like this as well. And later on, Wilfried Zaha almost score another goal. And I thought, wow, if they score that goal, we might be in big trouble. But thank God it was a very tight angle. I think Rob Holding in the end, I think it was Rob Holding or Gabriel did enough to kind of steer the shots away. It wasn't a good defending because, again, we're inviting Crystal Palace to attack our, spaces between defenders. And with Rob Holding at the back, it's certainly not going to be that easy. But thank God, because Wilfried Zaha missed that chance, Arsenal score. On the other hand, KT with an assist, and Bukayo Saka scores his second goal of the game. And I believe he has scored, 12 goals already for him this season? But he is the first player in this Premier League so far this season to register 10 goals and 10 assists. Well played, Bukayo Saka. I'm very proud of you. I love you, brother. And keep the record, going. I hope he is going to be like this for the next few years. And I can't wait to see his future with Arsenal. Hopefully he signed a new contract very, very soon. And after scoring that fourth goal, that might be it. I think that might be the end of the game. But of course, there are times where you wanted Jesus to score, right? He deserved it. He is very hardworking, chasing the ball down. He's been out for 3 months. He hasn't had a goal since October. That's like it's going to be 6 months from now. Of course, you wanted him to score in any way. But again, it just doesn't happen to Jesus. It's fine because we're 4-1 up. It stinks that we did not have a clean sheet. But that's how we play. That's how we are. We have a very good out of no reason. This season, we have a very good away clean sheet record. But at home, we have been atrocious. I don't know how many games we have at home that we have a clean sheet. I believe it was only 3. But it shows, the level Arsenal have put in this season and last season, home and away as well. But Bukayo Saka, he is the one that, he is the one this season where I just think without him, Arsenal might be in shambles, or even Odegaard as well. But yeah, he has 12 goals this season. 12 goals and 10 assists. You gotta be very proud. Have to be very proud of his performance. And later on, of course, Martinelli coming off for Smith Rowe, Jorginho coming on as well, and that's a beautiful sight right there. Thomas Partey. Everybody thought Thomas Partey will be subbed off, but turns out Thomas Partey replacing Ben White on the right side, on the right back. I didn't know. Thomas Partey's his history. Right back history. I thought he never played that position before, but I was looking on Twitter. Turns out, I think somebody pointed out that he used to play a bit of a right back role for Atletico Madrid before. So he had some understanding as well. And Jorginho replacing pretty much Ben White in that case. Again, I think Ben White has an amazing game today, defensively and offensively as well. And Smith Rowe, again, hopefully I wanted him to get on the score sheet. Again, I think he is still quite safe with the way he played. Again, very simple, pass and move, but not trying to break the line as well. I think it's going to take him quite a lot of time in order to to start a Premier League game again. I think having Trossard, Martinelli in that area, I don't think Smith Rowe might get a chance this season. I think we look very good without Smith Rowe, but Smith Rowe, of course, would be a very crucial part of the squad in the last 10 minutes. And yeah, I'm not surprised not seeing Reece Nelson today or Vieira today. I think Vieira had a poor game last time. I'm sure Arteta still want to prioritize minute. We still have one substitution going on, and it's Jakub Kiwior coming on for Gabriel. Gabriel plays every single minute in the Premier League this season, but unfortunately, because we want to rest those tired legs, we want to give those new opportunities for new players. Kiwior making his Premier League debut, and he looks fine. He looks great, perhaps. I believe he had probably 5 to 6 touches, but I think I think towards the end in the 92nd, 93rd minute, there's a long ball from Elise or Eze to Wilfried Zaha on the left hand side. Rob Holding's not going to catch him, but Kiwior is right there to great defending, put him off foot, got a bit of a tackle in the end. And that's what Kiwior can be very crucial, again, in a time like this, next season. And also shows the defensive intelligence of Jakub Kiwior. Again, he might be young. He only played his second game for Arsenal. But I think in those basic defense mechanism, he can still provide that. And that's how we cruise to win. 4-1. Top of the table. 8 points clear. And for City has a game in hand. But for us, we have 10 more games to play. For them, they have more than potentially 15 more games to play. And yeah, Arsenal top of the league table. Very happy about that. Again, definitely worth my 7 a.m. alarm clock this morning. And the fact that it sucks that, this season was different because you love to watch Arsenal. I believe everybody loved to watch Arsenal. And even if you're Rifle fans, you'll be, you still click on the TV and watch Arsenal once in a bit. But right now, an international break, again, the most annoying thing ever. It's unnecessary to the fans as well, but to the players, it might be crucial. But again, international break, so there'll be no post-match review next week. But we'll be back on Saturday, which means how's the schedule going to be like in those 2 weeks if I don't post post-match review? What will I be posting? So pretty much it's just a Arsenal update. I guess I'll just do that. I think I did one or two videos or podcasts regarding that already. So I think I might be doing that. Maybe I'll be doing that once on a Wednesday or Thursday to see the updates and stuff. Go over it. Saturday and Sunday I might do another one, and then next Thursday or next Wednesday I'll be doing another one as well. Next Premier League home game, or next game in general, will be playing against Leeds United, who is also in the relegation battle. But that is going to be another important game, another final, and after that, a more important final will be coming up. Liverpool at Anfield, I think on the 8th. Was it on the 8th or on the 9th? I think on the 9th. On the 9th of April. So There you go, guys. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys in a bit.